2p or not 2p? What was the question? Peas. Ones I'm sowing today are a pea called Douce Provence, and they're an early pea. You can sow these from January. And normally sowing peas, they're outside in a trench. I like to do it a little bit different. Let me show you what I do. So what I need is a seed tray. It's quality. I like one of these, for example. One of those. You've seen these before. They're quite deep. And fill them with compost. The way most seed sowing starts is to fill something with compost. My usual compost. It's nothing fancy. Fill a tray like that. And then I make a few depressions in the top with my fingers like this, and into these depressions I'm going to drop some peas. Let's have a look. Let's cut the corner, eh? Let's cut it. Dun. Let's get a handful of these peas. And these are the peas. So I don't soak them, some people do. I don't do anything in particular with them. I just drop them into the little depressions, one in each little depression, maybe two. Again, faff-free sowing. Amuse yourselves while I do this. There we are. One there, one there, one there. Couple in there, couple in there, couple in there. We go. Again, nothing fancy, nothing crazy. Put those back in there. Give them a little tap down. Make sure they're in there. Just like that. There we are. Nice and simple. Trusty water bottle. Oh yeah, it's gone everywhere. Normal water bottle. Holes pierced in the top. Let's damp them down. Give them some water to get them going. There we go. Lovely, lovely. Push down the ones that come up a bit. There we are. And cover with some more compost. Easy peasy. Just like that. And the reason that I do them like this is very simple. Don't forget to put a label on. Don't forget the label. The reason that I do them like this is that when the peas come through, I can take the whole cell and I can plant them in a lovely row, exactly where I want them. The mice can't get to them. If I'd sowed them outside in a drill and covered them up and sowed them in a little zigzag and all the other things, critters seem to dig them up, and sometimes they eat the whole amount of seed that you plant. So this is how I like to do it. How you do it is up to you. This is just another idea. Here's an interesting pea fact. In the Guinness Book of Records, there's a record that says 7,175 peas were eaten in 1 hour with chopsticks. I think I prefer a fork or a spoon myself. Now, that's those peas sown. And what I shall do is over the coming weeks, I shall do what's known as successional sowing. And I shall sow a couple of these each week. I shall plant them out and hopefully I'll get peas over a longer period of time rather than a big glut all at once, which you could freeze. But let's face it, peas are best when they're eaten completely fresh. Let me show you something. Here are some peas that I started about 2 weeks ago. As you can see, they're all coming up. They're not ready to go out just yet. Now, another way to start peas off is in a length of gutter. Just a normal piece of household guttering. I'm not suggesting you take a piece off of your house to use. So this length of guttering, it's about 5 feet long. easy to handle once it has compost and young seedlings in it. I find if it's much longer than that, it's a bit unwieldy to move around, maybe in your car when you're taking it over to the allotment or in the garden. So about 5 foot long, that's what I use. And let me show you what I do. So it's a simple process of filling the gutter with some compost. This compost I'm using. It's just a mixture of some commercially bought compost from the garden centre and some compost of my own, and it's just a 50-50 mix. It's not too rich, but it does have enough in it to get these pea seeds going and to keep them going until they go into the ground. So you fill the gutter like that with some compost. Lovely. Just like that. Flatten it down a little with the back of your hand. Just like that. And then you take the pea seeds. In this case they are Kelvin and Wonder. You can see them there, Kelvin and Wonder, and they are an early pea. And I like to sow the early peas, and there's a good reason for that. Is that there's a little critter called the pea moth, which can devastate pea crops. Now it may have the pea moth in your area where you live, it may not. But if it does, I think really sowing early peas is the best thing for you to do. And I like to sow a couple of sowings of early peas because they're ready normally in 12 to 14 weeks from sowing. So if I'm sowing in February, end of May, early June, I'm starting to pick the peas, and the pea moth is normally on the wing July and August time, and she's a real little critter, and she likes to lay her eggs on your lovely pea pods, and the eggs hatch and you will find there are tiny caterpillars that start chomping away on your lovely freshly grown peas, and it's not a pretty sight. It renders the crop useless. Not the entire crop, but you don't want to eat a pea that's been chomped on by a caterpillar, and they leave what's called a frazz behind them, which is well, your pea goes in one end and something comes out the other, and that's what's left behind. So anyway, we'll scatter these peas along this gutter. You haven't got to be too particular, just get some peas in there. You haven't got to make pretty patterns. Again, you know what I like, faff free. Let's just put the peas in there like that. Give them a little push down into the compost. There they go, just like that. Easy peasy. So, there you go. The peas are now sitting in the compost, which is sitting in the gutter. The next thing we do, give them a good watering. Again, it's the tried and trusted little bottle that I use. It's just a water bottle with some holes pierced in the top. Let's give them a good watering. Now, some people soak peas prior to putting them in the gutter or planting them out or putting them into seed tray cells. I don't. It doesn't mean you don't have to. You can soak the seeds if you want to. Personally, I don't. So they've been given a good watering, and then we just give them a light covering of compost over the top. Simple as that. And in a couple of weeks they will be through, and we let them grow on until they're about 4 inches high, at which point they'll be ready to go into the ground, into a trench that you dig. You slide the compost with the seedlings out of the gutter into a trench you've made. Easy. Now, there's another thing I like to do, and if you've seen my previous videos, you know I like to try and reuse or repurpose plastic food containers. Containers, here we are, where are they? Like this. And I use them on these gutters for a couple of reasons. Mice is one reason. Usually in a greenhouse or a shed, there are mice. You know, they're hungry this time of the year. They're looking for your little seeds, and they will dig them up and they will eat them. If you put some food containers on the top of your guttering, it stops the mice being able to get to your seeds, and it also acts as a kind of mini cloche, which keeps the compost a little warmer. It may just give the seedlings a little bit of a head start again to start growing. So reuse your plastic containers. Simple. So that's how I sow my peas. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video here at Gang and Peanut, 2 peas in a pod. I hope you've enjoyed the channel. If you like what you saw, give us a thumbs up or subscribe down here somewhere. Anyway, until next time, take care. Bye.